Hi everyone, Nancy here. It is June 19, 2020, and what time is it? 3:23 in the afternoon. I'm going to show you how to make ginger water, or I guess it's also ginger tea. So at home, my mother, we make a lot of ginger water because it's just healthy for you anyway. But I mostly take it because sometimes I get nauseous. Maybe I've eaten a little bit too many, like a little too many cookies, and so I need some ginger water, and it knocks out the nausea. That's not something that happens to me anymore because I've learned how to control myself whenever it comes to cookies. But once in a while, just once in a while when it does happen, then I will, go into the fridge and grab some ginger and drink. And yeah, so anyway, so I'm going to show you how to make it. In this pot, I have about 12 cups of water. You just use however much, or however much water you want. And you have to experiment, because if you don't know how to make ginger water, you just have to, it's something that you have to experiment, and then you will learn how to make it according to the way you like. So in this pot, as I said, I have around 12 cups of water, and I've just ground up some ginger. I'm going to show you. Okay. In this, right here, this is 1 cup of ground ginger, and I just grounded it up. Okay, that's 1 cup. This is normally how much my mother likes to put in there because she likes it really strong. So you put it in there. You have to bring the water to a boil, right? Bring it to a boil, and then once the water gets to a boil, you put the ground ginger in there. All right? And the rest of the ginger, we freeze it. Hold on, I'm going to show you. This is the ginger that I ground up today. I put it into a Ziploc bag, okay? I'm going to have to label it so that I will know, when I made it and when I put it into the freezer. And when you freeze ginger, ground up ginger, make sure that you lay it out flat and you flatten it. You have to flatten it because once it's frozen, it will be easy for you to come and break a piece, break however many pieces you would like, to put it into your ginger, into your water. Okay? Here's one that's frozen. It's frozen. February 22, 2020. I make a lot of these. I keep a lot of these in the freezer because this stuff goes fast in this place. And I'm going to show you something else. Okay, so here is the ginger. We freeze ginger. We also after we finish making that ginger. Oh shoot! I forgot to bring it down. You have to bring it down. Like in the beginning, you set it to the highest temperature, and you bring it to a boil. And then once it gets to a boil, then you bring it to medium. Okay, just bring it down to medium, and then you let it simmer. Not simmer, but leave it at medium for 10 minutes. My mother likes to leave it in there for 15, but I like to leave it in there for 10 minutes. And yeah, so once it's finished boiling, okay, my mother likes to remove the pulp, right? Like the ground ginger that you just saw me put in there, she likes to remove it, okay? I will show you that after. With this. She likes to remove the ginger, like once she's, we're transferring the ginger water over to something else, like when we're getting ready to put it into the freezer, she likes to use this to remove the pulp. Because she can't stand the pulp, the taste, she just can't stand the sensation, of the pulp. I don't mind it, but I prefer it to be without the pulp also. Here is one of the bottles that we froze. It says ginger, April 3, 2020. And it says, I'm just setting down something, another bottle, that's why you're hearing that noise. Here it says strong, because some of the ginger water that we make is also weak. What I mean by that is, this is the first water that we get after you make the ginger. And then we use the pulp again to make a second, okay, when I remove all this water, I'm going to use the pulp from here to make another batch of ginger, the same 12 cups. Okay, another batch of ginger, and it comes out weaker, of course. And then we use that also. It's still like it does have a strength to it, but it's a bit weaker, and we still use it, right, to drink. So this is the strong one, and the strong one will come out darker in color. Here is a frozen one, and it says weak ginger, February 4, 2020. You see how much lighter it is in color? So we keep a lot of these we have a deep freezer. We keep a lot of these not in the deep freezer, but we keep it in the other fridge, like in the freezer where that's just above the fridge. So if you have enough room, make like I like to make a lot of these, maybe like 8 of them, of the strong ginger, and then I put it into the freezer so that whenever we need, like I said earlier, we drink a lot of this stuff, and whenever we need one, right? So you see this one here, it's finishing up, so I'm making some more. And when you're going to defrost it, just place this on in your sink or on the dish rack, and it will, overnight it will defrost, and in the morning it will be completely defrosted, thawed out, and then you can put it in your fridge. Right? I'm gonna put it back in the freezer. Hold on. I don't like having things outside of the freezer. Sorry, guys. Okay. Now, what else? Okay, for example, if you just want to make a small amount of ginger, just a cup, like a cup of ginger tea, like just in a mug. Take however much you would like, a small amount. You don't take a cup of ginger, of course. You don't do that. Take a small amount of ginger. I guess get yourself a spoon, like an eating spoon, and take some ginger and put it into your cup. Right? So you take some like ground ginger, and you put it in your cup. And then you boil your water and you put it in there and you drink the ginger. You see right here? This is another one that I just finished grinding up. I just finished grinding this one up. Right? So if you're gonna if you want to make a small cup of a tea, you just boil some water in a small pot. Let me get a pot. Okay, you boil water in a small pot, and you take just a small amount and you put it in there. Once it's boiling, you put the ginger in there once the water is boiling. 5 minutes, and then you take it out. And you drink, right? What I'm going to do I'm going to do the same thing with this bag like I did with the other bag. I have to lay it out flat and spread out the ginger, and that's how I'm going to freeze it. Okay, guys. Okay, I have the fan next to me because it's a little bit hot, but it's not hot enough to turn on the air conditioning, so I just... And plus I had to open up the drapes so that I could get in a lot of sunlight, because the drapes are, they are like a green olive color, and if I put the drapes down, I'm going to get a green, dark, dingy color in here, and it's not going to come out nice on the video. It's going to come out dark. So that's why, yes, I have to have, and when you draw the drapes, all of the sun comes in. We have like massive windows from wall to wall, and so there's a lot of light coming through, and it's boiling. It's more boiling in here with, you know, the drapes up. But if I keep the drapes down, then it's nice and cool in here. So this is why I have to have the fan on. And if you hear my voice kind of, you know, going, you know, like, you know what happens when you kind of do that thing with your voice in front of the fan? If you hear my voice kind of funny, then that's why that's happening like that. You hear my voice because the fan is there. You know what, guys? Ginger is so powerful when it comes to knocking out nausea. My 96-year-old grandmother, who had multiple myeloma, she was on chemotherapy, right? And my mother would give my grandmother 1 cup of the strongest form of ginger that she, like, this right here, what we're making is really strong, but my mother used to make it even stronger than this. And my grandmother, she used to give it to my grandmother to take with all 3 of her meals every day with the chemo pill, because the chemo pill, guys, it's associated with extreme forms of nausea. This is why some cancer, well, maybe a lot of cancer patients, they lose weight because they can't, the nausea is so horrible that they can't eat. They can barely eat. So this is why they're so skinny. But my mother, she gave my grandmother 3 cups of the ginger water every single day with her meals, every single meal, every day, right? All 3 of them. And my grandmother did not suffer any nausea, no weight loss, nothing. She was very happy, and she was eating, she had a lot of, her appetite was incredible. She would eat everything. She had an appetite for everything. And when my mother would take my grandmother to the hospital for the treatments, you know, for the scheduled treatments every month, the doctors were asking, like the oncologists were asking, what are you doing at home that she's eating? So my mother explained what I just told you, and they're like, wow, that's amazing. You keep doing what you're doing, because it's incredible, you know, because she's, you know, she's taking a very powerful medication that affects the appetite. So please continue doing what you're doing. And the doctors were really pleased with my grandmother's her progress, because my grandmother was only 5 feet tall and she was 130 pounds, and she didn't lose any weight at all throughout the entire time. So this is why, guys, ginger is, oops, I've got to turn this off now. Yes, I think, oh.